Hey guys, my name is Wali Muhammad and I will be teaching you C programming language. Now, before we start, I would like to tell you that C is a general purpose structured programming language which was developed by Dennis Ritchie between 1969 and 1973. Now, before we start, let me tell you something about a C language. In C, we have these header files such as this stdio.h. Now some people will pronounce this as studio.h or studio.h, but basically this is the standard. Std stands for standard input output header file. Now what do header files do? Header files give instructions to the C program as to what a particular task or particular set of code actually does. Now the compiler that we will be using here will be code blocks. You can use your own desired compiler as well, like Turbo C++, but personally I prefer using code blocks. Okay, so let's try creating a simple program. Hello world. We'll open code blocks. Let's start a new project, empty file. Let's save this as my first program. Okay, now to include the header files that are described before, we will use the #include function. #include function allows us to include any header file that we like. So like I mentioned, we will be using the stdio.h file, the standard input output header file. Now to start our program, we will use int main and empty braces, and then we'll open and close our curly braces. Now inside these curly braces we will write our main program. Now before we start with the hello world, let me tell you something about the int main function. Now int is actually the return type. I'll describe this further after executing my hello world. Now main is our actually main function. It's a system defined function where we write all our coding. We can also make user defined functions, which I will be describing in further lessons, but for now you should remember that main is a system defined function which allows you to do coding. All your code sets will be inside these curly braces. So let's jump to hello world. Now to print something on the console, we use printf. Then we just pass on a string hello world. Then since our return type was int, which means an integer, so in the end we'll write return 0. Note, we'll always write return 0 if our main function has the return type of int. Now this return 0 is for the normal execution of our program. Now let's try running our program and see if it executes normally. Now as you can see, we got hello world written here, so this means we have compiled our program successfully and it runs. Now if you don't like this return 0 and you want to change it, so you can also set your return type to void. Now you can remove this return 0. Now see, even now the program runs successfully. That's it for now. In the other lessons, make sure to subscribe for other lessons. We will be discussing further about the other header files and other data types, the variables and other things. Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe.